Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the kvCORE Open Q&A and Next Level session. My name is Kelly. I am your trainer of the day. We're going to go ahead and get started in about 5 minutes. I appreciate you guys being early. So welcome. If you have any questions, feel free to pop them into the chat box. This is Open Q&A, and I will be covering a focused topic today. I'm going to be talking about pitch sheets today. I don't know if you've had a chance to use pitch sheets, but I'm going to talk about those. And of course, I want to answer any questions that you have because this is your open Q&A. So we got a couple of minutes. I'm early, so if you have any questions, feel free to pop them in and I'll address them now. While we're waiting for people to get settled and logged in, and we only have a couple people here today, I'm just going to ask a quick question. And if you don't mind, if you're not multitasking, I know you're probably checking your email and sending out that last minute text, but do me a favor and raise your hand if you have attended these open Q&As in the past. Just raise your hand if you've attended before. I'm just curious to see if we have any repeat users to our open Q&A and next level sessions. Okay, thanks, Tom. I see a couple hands going up. That's awesome. Tom, I'm going to actually turn on your microphone for just a second, only because we've got a couple of minutes to spare. So if you have a microphone, go ahead and turn it on. I just have a quick question for you. Hey, Tom.
Yes. Hello,
hey,
how are you doing?
I'm doing great. Have you been attending these sessions regularly since we started with these new open Q&As?
No, I just attended one on yesterday.
Oh, cool. Oh, very good. I know.
It really was a presentation more than it was about retargeting. So it was very good.
Oh, good.
So
did you learn something new?
Oh, I did, yes. Whether I retain it or not is another thing.
Well, isn't that the case with anything? Well, I appreciate that you found it helpful enough that you decided to come back again.
Oh,
so that's
yeah.
a good thing.
It's marvelous. I find your whole system marvelous. I just started. I did the 4 weeks thing.
The quick start program?
Quick start thing, and I also went through which was very good, listing machine.
Core listing machine. Oh, you went through that quick start as well. Awesome.
Yeah,
we have a lot of different, for those of you that are kind of following along, we do have other products besides actually the kvCORE platform, and some brokerages have opted into them. Plus we do have, of course, those additional add-ons in the marketplace. So, as a quick reminder, while we're waiting for people to log in, and Tom's been so kind to be kind of my success buddy here, I do want to point you in the direction of our training, because if you're looking for additional resources, we do have an entire learning portal course in the sidebar menu right here where the question mark is. Hop into the courses section. We've just recently given it a facelift, so we've made it even easier to get to all of the additional courses that we have. And they do, these are free. They come with your platform. So diving in and learning how to use some of the tools that are in here is going to do nothing but give you an advantage over your competition, because the more that you learn, the more you grow, right? So Tom's already taken, it sounds like he's taken the Agent Quick Start, which I love. This is our brand new Agent Quick Start course. We will be sunsetting this Agent Success Plan very soon because everybody will transition over to this. So whether you're a brand new user to kvCORE or if you're a longtime user, I encourage you to go check it out. There's 4 live webinars that go with each Agent Quick Start course as kind of the companion piece. So Tom, don't forget to go check those out as well if you haven't already started taking those daily live webinars. Those are available. The links are inside the Learning Portal course.
Okay, great.
Awesome. All right, Tom. So have you heard of a pitch sheet before? Do you know what a pitch sheet is?
No. How do you pronounce it?
Pitch, P-I-T-C-H,
Oh,
like you're
pitch. No,
pitching a
no,
ball.
no.
Okay, well, have you in sales, whenever you're going to give your pitch, your sales pitch,
Yes.
this is your opportunity to kind of like tell your client why you are the choice, the realtor of choice. And so we have taken that term and we have applied it to what we call pitch sheets in kvCORE. And that's going to be our focus today. It looks like we're right at the top of the hour. So Tom, I'm going to go ahead and put you back on mute just to keep the background noise down. But if you have any questions, pop those right into the chat box because we're going to be monitoring those. And in the meantime, welcome, Christian. Thanks for being our moderator today. I was just chatting with folks while we were waiting to get started.
Yeah, I saw. This is pretty cool, bringing that up. Yeah. So you're going to talk about pitch sheets. Yeah, I'm actually really excited to see this because I'm kind of new to this whole version of kvCORE.
New to the pitch sheets. Okay, so pitch sheets in real estate, as I mentioned before, when you are going to, the ever present goal in real estate is to, of course, try to get as many listings as you can. The old saying goes, listings last, right? So a listing is almost a guaranteed paycheck, right? Of course, there's exceptions to that, but that's what we're always striving for, is to build up our seller clientele. We want to get as many listings as possible. So fine tuning and honing in on how to get seller leads, as well as to provide and nurture and incubate those seller leads, that should be something that you should think about as far as your strategies. And so there's some tools in kvCORE that are designed specifically to help you with that. So if we start on our dashboard over here, we are, and for those of you that just joined today, I do want to remind you that this is this is what we call the kvCORE Open Q&A and next level sessions. So we always start out at the beginning going over just a simple topic or a strategy or some content that might be considered next level within kvCORE. Sometimes we jump right into kvCORE, sometimes we use outside resources. It just kind of depends on, it's almost like open office hours. But this is your open Q&A. So if you came here specifically because you had a question about something you're doing or using in kvCORE, this is your opportunity to jump right in. Raise your hand, pop it into the chat box. Christian is my fellow trainer here at Inside Real Estate, and he's moderating for us today. So he's going to find you as many resources as he possibly can to help provide those answers for you. And, I also like to chat with people. So I'm not sure if you've been on my webinars before, but I do like to call people from the audience. So this is not the webinar to be multitasking on with me, because you never know. Be prepared to get to volunteer, or be prepared to get voluntold. Consider yourself warned, right, Christian? Okay.
100%.
100%. He's like, oh, I'm getting volunteered already. Okay, so let's jump into pitch sheets. So when you're striving to get sellers, there's a lot of different strategies that you can use, but obviously providing high value content to them, something that is going to differentiate you from the other choices in real estate agents that your potential sellers have, is going to be something you want to highlight and focus, right? So we've created these pitch sheets using the data, using the activity on your website, and using the contacts in your CRM to come up with a list of potential buyers for your listings. So here's the strategy behind this. If you're going to a listing presentation and you're getting everything all ready and boxed up, you've got your slide deck, maybe you're using Core Present. Love Core Present. If you check your marketing section and you have Core Present, you've got an amazing listing presentation tool in here. If you don't have it yet, check with your broker, because this is something that needs to be added on at the broker level, but I love this. You might also have Dash CMA, which is the legacy version that creates the CMAs, but Core Present actually has listing presentations in it. So, and the pitch sheets are in there. It's a little insider tip. But we're going to build one from scratch today. So if you wanted to create your own pitch sheet and show off to your potential sellers all of your value and what you bring to the transaction, including potential buyers for their listing, you're going to navigate over to the listing section. Now, because you haven't earned this person's business yet, and of course their listing isn't on the market yet, we have to add that data in first. So this tool works only with the manual listings that are in here, okay? So I have a couple of listings that are already in the manual section where you can add your exclusives, coming soons, and You know, sometimes you might call them pocket listings, but I've already added a couple of demonstration ones in here. So if you want to add in a manual listing, you know, if you want to just try this out, I encourage you to go in and just click on add listing. It's going to ask you to search for a property. So you can just start typing in the street address. We'll just use, you know, whatever this one is on Montage Lane here in Murrieta. And you can fill in some of this information. This pulls from public records. So some of this information is also fields that are available in your MLS. And the more detailed you are, the more you set yourself up when this does transition, if it does transition into an active listing. For now, we're just using this for the pitch sheets. So I'm really not going to focus on all the fine details, but Christian has an article about adding manual listings that he just popped into the chat box. Make sure you grab that link if you want to learn all the ins and outs of that. So it's already pulled in this information here. Then you're going to skip over to property details and choose your listing type. If you don't see your listing pull up on your website immediately, switch to exclusive if you're on coming soon. I'm going to use coming soon as our example here. You can fill in all of this stuff on your own. I'm just going to choose, you know, single family residence, because that's what this is. You can add your property style, bungalow, cabin, ranch, whatever it is. Try and match that up to what the fields are in your MLS. Year built, let's say it was built in 2001. Add your beds and bath. We'll say 5 bedroom, maybe 3 bathrooms, no half baths. And again, the more detailed you are with this information, the better it is if your listing does go live. But honestly, this is just for the manual listing. So if I were getting ready for a listing presentation, I would have gone onto my local tax records, my local public records, maybe had a chat with the seller in advance and tried to get as much accurate information so that my pitch sheet will be as up to date and accurate as possible. So I'm just going to say that the listing is about 3,500 square feet. Maybe there's a neighborhood view, waterfront. I don't know. We'll skip all this stuff. You can fill out the information for schools. If there's anything interesting in here, add that as well. Let's say that it's a pool home. That's always fun. So then you go into the photos. Now, this is where you're going to need to upload your photo. So what I like to do, and this is just me being, you know, that agent, is if I'm not near the listing, I'll just simply go Google it and I'll grab a screenshot of that photo, you know, just because I'm going to use it for my pitch sheet. If you can go drive by the listing, you can do that as well. But, you know, whatever floats your boat, but get a photo that you can upload from here. I'm just going to grab a random photo that I have already selected. Let's see if this one works. There we go. So we got a photo in there and then the listing information. So I'm going to put the price range and I'm just going to use my selected price, what I suggest based on the comps that I ran. We'll say it's worth, you know, $650, something like that. You're going to put the date that this is valid for, which we're going to put is today, and then remove from your site date. That's when it's going to go off market, or if I'm going to switch it over to list to the active. So we'll just say the 24th. If you have a link to the MLS listing, you can add that there, but I'm not going to worry about this. You do have to turn this on, listing status, in order to make it viewable on your website. And then, of course, you can add in any remarks that you want. So now I've got my listing. It's manually added. This is the same one that I just did. So now I can do a pitch sheet for it. So when I go and click into the property, it's already got all this data. And now the data is feeding into my kvCORE platform as well. So this is really a version of what we call reverse prospecting. So when you have people that are searching on your website and when they are getting listing alerts, the key here is that they're getting listing alerts that are set up by you or them or automatically, however they're set up. We're pulling that data from this into the pitch sheets. So you're going to navigate right over here to pitch sheet, and it's going to automatically create a downloadable PDF for you. And this is the value right here. You can add this into your listing presentation, send it separately to your client, send them the link to this, you know, add it into an email that you're sending out, text it to them, however you want to distribute it. But this information is really valuable because it's pulling from your brokerage information as well. So I can sit down at the kitchen table with this potential seller and say something like, look, I haven't even gotten your listing yet, but I've already done the homework for your property. And currently we have 12 active buyers in your price range, in your area, that are looking for houses right now. That's 12 people that I can market to right now that's going to get your listing sold faster at top dollar. We have 12 active buyers just searching in this area. I can reach out to them. And we have 97 buyers that are searching in this price range that haven't even seen your house yet. So let's talk about how we can make this happen. Get them to sign on the dotted line. And in your entire office, this is how many active buyers we have in the entire office. This data is pulling from those listing alerts. So again, it all comes back to having that data, information updated into your kvCORE. So use this as a way to pitch your what separates you and how you're going to bring buyers to their listing better, faster, and smarter, right? So this is a great tool that you can use, and you can send an instant alert to these 12 active buyers. This is even better. So this is not information that we're making up. You're actually able to show them, here's 3 of some of your potential buyers, and this is what they're looking for. And it's based on those, the data that's up in here. It's branded with your information, with your photo, everything in here is up to date. You can run these pitch sheets as many times as you want and include those in your listing presentations. I mean, I tell you what, if I was sitting down with a buyer and I wanted to communicate, kind of what's going on in the market and what their competition is, sometimes, the proof is in the pudding. If you have to have a hard conversation with a buyer about, why they need to be offering at a certain price, maybe use a pitch sheet to do that so that they can see, here's your competition. Are you really sure you want to come in at that offer price? Or maybe we should be a little bit more competitive. So those are some things some strategies you can use these pitch sheets for. And if once the pitch sheet is created, if you go back over here to the listing section right next to the pitch sheet, you can generate a new one, or you can send an exclusive alert, which means those 12 contacts that were matching buyers for this listing, you can send them an instant alert and let them know about this exclusive listing you've got. So you could reach out to them and say, hey, look, we've got a property coming soon. We've got an exclusive listing. Is there, before it even hits the market, I know you're looking for a property that's similar to, maybe in price or area vicinity, something like that. Would you like a sneak peek before it hits the market? Something like that. So that's a really valuable piece of information and a valuable tool to add into your listing presentations. And it's based on what we call reverse prospecting. So what we're doing is trying to find matching buyers. So obviously pitch sheets, super easy to do. They're based on manual listings. By the way, when you do have a manual listing that you've added, just on a side note, they do show up on your website as well. So if I went to my website right here to the first page, you're going to see here in the under my subdomain here, you're going to see my exclusive listings and my coming soon. So it'll all be right here. And it does become searchable. So if I click on here after a slight but dramatic pause, you'll see that's where those listings are highlighted on my website. So it's a great way to advertise those. Okay, but we're talking about pitch sheets. Question, Christian?
Yeah. Patricia asked us, your list there that you showed, it had 2 prospects whose interest is in rentals. How is this helpful? That's I guess.
Well, what it's pulling from is it's pulling based on all of these, because this shows 12 active buyers in this price range in Marietta. This shows 12 active buyers just searching in Marietta, and it's pulling from the data that's in your CRMs. So it's very possible that 1 or 2 of these people are also interested in rentals, maybe in this area, but they're located in San Diego. So it's not the location of where they're searching. This is where the buyer is located. So they're buyer type leads, and they may have looked at condos, price range, beds and baths, things like this. And it's all based on those listing alerts. So this is really just, I wouldn't pay attention to this because it's made up of a variety of information. Does that help, Christian?
Yes, it does.
Yeah, so it's basically pulling from this. And keep in mind, one thing to note, if you do send this exclusive alert out, this is going to send it to all of the potential buyers in your brokerage, not just your own personal kvCORE, because these pitch sheets pull from all of your brokerage information as well. Because again, when you're doing a pitch sheet, you want to show everybody. So like you're going to get can you imagine if you're part of a really large brokerage and everybody's got their kvCORE systems up and running and has those listing alerts and everything is all set up and they all have their data updated? this number could be really large. Mine's just a little demo account. You know, we just have a bunch of test leads in here, and we already have 232 active buyers in our office. This is pulling data from our entire office. Imagine what it would look like if this were an account that has, you know, 25 agents that all are using kvCORE with true data. I've seen these go up upwards of the thousands, you know, tens of thousands. That's a lot of information to be able to portray it. It really just gives you credence and credibility when you are sitting at a listing presentation. I kind of like these pitch sheets. I think they're one of the most, they're like a little hidden Easter egg tool that's in kvCORE. There's a few little things like this throughout here, including the reverse prospecting. So let's take it one step further. Let's say you get the listing, right? Woohoo, we've got the listing, it's hit the market. So one of the things you're going to want to do immediately is to start promoting it, right? Now it's an active listing on kvCORE. We're switching away from manual listings. It's active on kvCORE. It's active on your MLS. You can easily promote it using this promote a listing section here. And there's 3 other places in kvCORE where you can do reverse prospecting. And in the Playbooks is one of them. Because once you have started to advertise or promote a listing, and let's just grab one from here just to, for demonstrations purposes. Let's just say this is my new listing right here in Orangetown. One of the things you can do when you start promoting these is, well, after you notify everybody in your office, well, actually right here, when you do notify everybody in your office, because, you know, we want to keep this listing in-house, right? We want to sell it within our brokerage, both sides, buyer and seller. So you're going to send a notice to your other agents saying, hey, I got a new listing and I'm looking for buyers. Here's a few basic details as well as a couple of buttons. The first one is the link over to your website so the agent can go look at it. And this one is a button that the agent can use to find matching buyers in their own kvCORE. So if you ever happen to get one of these new listing announcement emails, make sure that you're double checking and looking to see if you have any buyers that match that property. How does kvCORE figure this out? It's dependent upon the listing alerts that are set up for your leads. So the more people you have set up on listing alerts, the more likely you are to find matching buyers. So the second step in this series of promoting your listing playbooks is to go and find your own kvCORE smart list, which is really your own list of matching buyers. And if I had anybody in my own database, they would show up right here. And it would present me with a list of buyers that are searching based on those listing alerts as well that match this property. What am I going to do with them? I'm going to send them a text message and I'm going to say, hey, I have a new listing that matches your search criteria. Here's a link to it. Check it out, right? So we put easy buttons in here. So you can just quickly send them a message. You can switch to core video and send out your BombBomb-like video using our core video, or you can also send them this new listing announcement email. We've teed it up for you. It has all this information. These are just merge tags. It's going to autofill all this information for you. And all you have to do is really schedule a date and time to send it out. So that's it. Now, if you have your own custom list based on maybe a saved filter or hashtags that you've been using, send it to them as well. You can always go in and do this. So this find matching buyer button is really crucial when you're reverse prospecting, trying to find matching buyers for those listings. The other place it shows up is in the Smart CRM, right here in the Smart CRM, in the filters under the property interest. You can reverse prospect here. You can go in and pop in the address or the MLS ID number, and any of your contacts that have search alerts that are set up to match that criteria will apply when you apply the filters to this. So that's the other area. The third area, as we started talking about earlier, is in the pitch sheets in those manual listings. When you do a pitch sheet or when you want to send that exclusive list pitch sheet or that alert. But the other place is in every single listing. If you look up a listing, there's going to be a matching buyer button right here. So that's four, including the pitch sheet, 4 different places that you can reverse prospect right in kvCORE. But if we circle back around to the original way that we capture this data, is that it all comes back to having your leads set up to incubate. And the primary way that you do that is to continue to send them search alerts. So make sure that you understand how to do that. If you don't know how to set up a listing alert, couple things to keep in mind. One, let me go in and find somebody to set one up on. Let's go into Camilla Bajarski. One is that we send out search alerts, those property alerts, We call them listing alerts, search alerts, but they're really property alerts. That's what we're doing here. We're sending out property alerts. One, they are sent via email. Okay, so we don't text them out. Doesn't mean you can't send some listings out via text. You could certainly set up a smart campaign that was text-based only and then send them a squeeze link. You could do that. That's not a problem. It's not going to it's not going to be included in the data that we collect for those matching buyers. So again, we want to make sure that we have correct email addresses as often as possible. So set up a property alert here, know that they go out via email, and if you ever need to adjust them, you can always come back and do so here. You can pause them, you can change the frequency, change the criteria, edit these settings. This is a whole section in and of itself. So that's my opening topic for today, which is all about pitch sheets. Anybody have any questions about those? Anything else, Christian?
So Patricia's asking if we can maybe find a support article. I'm guessing for pitch sheets. Do we have one?
I do. Here, let me drop the link into the chat box. Hang on one second. And this is pitch sheets for manual listings. There we go. Wow. If I could spell correctly, hang on. I've got pickle fingers this morning. I'm not spelling correctly.
Yeah, no worries.
Manual. Okay, I just dropped that link into the chat box, and you should get that. Hang on one second. There you go. There it is. All right. So let's talk about questions. Anybody have any questions for me today? This is open Q&A.
Yeah, guys. So just putting this out here, what Kelly just showed us is pretty specific. But if you had any other topics or anything else that you wanted to look at or ask about, feel free to. This is an open Q&A. If not, I might have something else that I might want to share along with these pitch sheets as well. So,
well, Christian, jump right in, and I'll keep an eye on the chat box.
Well, so what I was thinking maybe is using landing pages. Do we have any ways to maybe, I don't know, use that, I would say, to kind of advertise the fact that you can offer not the pitch sheets per se, but the aspects that come along with it, like the details, so that it could maybe entice some people in registering and maybe capturing some leads off of that?
Well, because it is a clickable link, or it is a URL link. Hang on, if I go back into my listings, go to my manual, notice when I generate the pitch sheet that pitch sheet. This data is all right here. This is a link. You technically could use a landing page and then point people over here. I'm trying to think how I would use this. Maybe in a landing page where I'm posting neighborhood information.
Well,
in a farm or something. What are you thinking, Christian?
What I was thinking was that you're not necessarily linking them to this page. What you're saying is the offer, right? Like getting them set up.
Oh, okay.
So it's like a pitch to the pitch sheet is, I guess, what I'm going for. The idea there is that maybe you have like a campaign or something to follow up, not with the lead, but
you know
yourself.
What I tell you what I would do. This is what I would do. This is just brainstorming. And you know what, guys, we've got 10 people sitting in the audience today. If you have anything that you'd like to add to this, this is brainstorming. You know what you could do? You could go into the lead engine and you could do a landing page. Remember, you got to select your domain, and you could use now you have to do it in two parts. You're building two landing pages, okay? But you could do kind of a seller type pitch sheet to ask them something to the effect of, are you curious as to see who may be interested in if you were to list your house today, right? You could go out, you could go at that angle. And so what you do is you do the second landing page first, because you need the URL for it. So the second landing page would be the address capture. And so when you do the address capture, you would do this, step 2, and pop in your address below. Okay, so this would be my step 2. I'm going to get rid of all this other junk because I don't need it. Okay, and you could change your background photo, whatever you want to put. Well, let's see if we find something interesting here. Let's do home buyers. Okay, let's do this one. Pop in your address below. So you could do this landing page first, and maybe put a hashtag in it if you want. I'm just going to leave it blank, and save this. So this is our second landing page. So we're going to take the link for this and we're going to copy it. Then we're going to go to the landing page. We're going to build another one. And this one is going to be our step 1. So we're going to do step 1, or well, actually, we're going to do our call to action up here. We're going to put, no, I guess we will. We'll put step 1. We'll do the call to action in the post. Step 1. Tell me where to send this info. Okay. And then you can, I don't know, we'll just double click. I mean, you guys could really put on your creative caps and go to town on this part, do your own thing. But the idea is we're going to use this landing page first. And the URL that we're going to redirect them to is going to be the step 2. So this is a way to get their email address and their cell phone. Tell me where to send this info to. And then when they click this button, we're going to say, click to step 2, whatever. Click to step 2. So enter here, click cell phone, click to steps 2. Add your hashtag, because we always like to hashtag these people for future follow-up, right? Change the background, maybe have it match the other one with those happy home buyers. Save this one. And then the idea would be you're going to post this and you're going to create a call to action around it. And you're going to say something like, the market is hot, thinking of selling, but not sure if anybody would buy your house. Let me tell you how many buyers I have. I could show it to right now. Something like that. I don't know. That's really wild and crazy. Christian, give me a better tagline for that. Like a call to action, because the idea is we want them to sign up here to tell us where to send the info to. Okay. When they enter this information, we'll just put this here and whatever my number is, they're going to be taken over to step 2. And step 2 is now I need your address. Once this happens, we're going to get both. Now we're going to have their address. Now we're going to have their contact information. What do you think we're going to do next? We're going to go over and we're going to look up on public records all that information for that address, and we're going to go build ourselves a manual listing for it. And we're going to create that pitch sheet, and then we're going to send the pitch sheet in an email to them and say, here's what right now today, this is how many buyers we have just in our own office that I can exclusively sell to. I tell you what, this might even be a cool thing to use for FSBOs. If you're doing if you're trying to work for sale by owners, and you could, send out a landing page like this, curious as to see, are you selling your house right now? I might be able to help. And then have them go through these motions. Now you've got their email, now you got their phone number, now you got their address. Go run a pitch sheet for them, send it to your FSBO buyer or FSBO seller. Maybe you'll even convert them into an exclusive listing. So anybody have any questions about something like that?
Yeah. Oh, with something like that. I'm sorry, Kelly.
Expired.
Maybe. We've got some.
Yeah, expireds, Tom. That might work. Tom, do you do a lot of expireds? Go ahead and unmute. I know your microphone's open. We chatted earlier. Do you do expireds or FSBOs at all?
Oh, well, I try, but I was just wondering about pulling in the information on the expired. You know what I mean?
That kind of depends on your compliancy and your brokerage. I know there's some pretty sticky rules where I am, so I'm not going to really answer that. I'm going to refer you back to your broker. Ask them about how that would work in your area, how they work expires, because sometimes you can pull that information, sometimes you can't. I know it's a big no-no where I am.
Yeah, I think if I remember correctly,
double check, just be safe, double check with your broker.
Yes.
Double check. But did this make sense how I did the step 1 and the step 2 with the landing pages?
Yeah, I really like that, Kelly. That's a good idea, just to keep it simple, right?
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely. Tom, is this something, did I walk through this very fast? Does anybody need me to do it again?
I'm just wondering if the last step is the address. I'm just wondering, of course, normally the address is the first thing people put in, the value of your home or whatever.
But in this case, we're using it kind of preemptively, because the call to action for this marketing strategy is to, one, exemplify how different your brokerage is from everybody else's, that you have a plethora of buyers that you work with, that you could do an exclusive listing, or you could get their home sold faster for more money in the least amount of time. whatever your pitch is. And if your house isn't listed yet, let me show you what I can bring to the table right now. I just need a little bit of information from you first. First of all, where do you want me to send the information? That's key. Get their email and their cell phone number, and then get their address, because once you've got their address, then you can, easily go search public records and get some basic information. And what you don't have, that's your icebreaker, your re-engagement. Pick up the phone and call them and say, hey, I'm working on what I call a pitch sheet to show you some different stats that you may not normally have a chance to see on the open market. I'd love to be able to send it to you, but can you tell me a little bit about your house? Things like that.
I'd say a video would be very helpful in something like that.
Well, you could do, instead of starting off with step one, where's my step one? Oh, I must have left it. Anyway, instead of doing the lead generation landing page, you could, instead of using this one as your step one, you could use video plus lead. And then you could use this as you could do step one here. Step one, check out my video, whatever. And then, get rid of all this stuff here. And these videos, as long as it's stored on YouTube, you could go and create your little introduction video right here. And you just pop the YouTube ID in here. So for those of you that have never used this landing page, to get the YouTube ID, you just need to go into wherever your video is stored. So you should have a YouTube channel. If you don't, you really should. They're free, they're easy to use, and it's a great place to upload and store and share your video content. So you could do maybe something like real estate. I don't know, I'll just grab one here that's anything that's available. We'll pretend this is it right here. Well, let's use this one. So this might be maybe this is my intro video that I want to do, and it's me standing there saying, hey, you know what? My name is Kelly Bajarski with ABC Realty. I'm an exclusive listing agent. I've been licensed in real estate. Blah 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 blah. Do it in like 30 seconds. Use your pitch, and then say, you know what? For exclusive information about what I can do to market your home, I just need a couple of quick pieces of information. First of all, where do you want me to send it to? And then point down and say, drop your email and your cell phone in below, and I'll get it over to you, by the end of the day, whatever you want to say. But when you do it, it needs to be hosted on YouTube. And rather than sharing it, which is what you would normally do when you're going in to share content from YouTube, this is where you can embed it into your website, auto post it, use the whole link. The only thing you need to put in that YouTube or to put that YouTube ID in is everything that's after the equal sign. So it's everything right here that's after the equal sign. That is what is called the YouTube ID. And that's the only thing you need to pull that video in right here. So if you wanted to do a video instead, do your landing page, pop your video in here, and then take them over to step 2 to get their address. And then take that address and build a pitch sheet and go get that listing. Woohoo. Christian, anything else?
I thought that was pretty cool, adding the video at the end. But in terms of questions about this, I think one person did mention about starting a smart campaign after. And I was mentioning this, and I was more referring to hashtags. I think hashtags are a really good way to have a campaign built out for these leads, just because if they register with that tag attached to them, you guys can have an entirely unique smart campaign just for those contacts.
Exactly. So maybe you build one out that's for your pitch sheet. Call it your pitch sheet smart campain, and tie it to a hashtag. So you can go build it in the marketing section right here. Bye, Christine. Thanks for joining us. Go into the marketing section, go to smart campaigns, and there's 3 ways to manage your smart campaigns. You can use the ones that come straight out of the box, or you can clone one, rename it, reboot it, revisit it, re-edit it, whatever, or you can build one from scratch. So if we want to build it from scratch and tie it to a hashtag, you would go in here and you would say, start this campaign when the hashtag is, and then whatever your hashtag is, pitch sheet smart campaign, or whatever your hashtag is that you're going to use. Done. You can even drill down and make really granular smart campaigns trigger based on multiple triggers. So maybe you're going to say, when the source is something, the source is Facebook ads, and the hashtag is something. I mean, you could really drill down here and be specific, or you could just use when the hashtag is right there.
Yeah, it makes it a lot more simple too. I find that this would also be a great tool, like with hashtags specifically. I find that it's really, really useful with landing pages. So if you're ever going to like prospect or market towards a niche group of contacts, this is the ideal situation. Hashtags are, I think, where this smart
They're the
campaign
magic
system,
bullet.
yeah, they step their game up real fast when it comes to hashtags.
Yeah, because the hashtag can use to trigger things. And not only that, but they can be used to trigger search alerts as well.
Yeah,
so anytime you can use a hashtag, I mean, even if it's just to label your leads so you can find them in your smart CRM, that's got value in and of itself. But when you can start using a hashtag to trigger things automatically, you are setting yourself up for some long-term success. Because remember, these landing pages, these are they're one-page websites, technically. So if you wanted to do a whole marketing strategy around using these landing pages, and you've got yourself a one-page website, we'll pretend this is it. And I'm not going to spend too much time because there's a ton of other resources. Maybe I'll do it next week about landing pages and how to customize them and do more. But but if you've got a landing page and you love this landing page and you're going to use this on your marketing strategies, including putting it on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, Pinterest, wherever you're going to do it, but now you're also going to put it in your print materials, you're going to put it on your postcards, you're going to put it on your listing materials. Well, nobody's going to type out this big long link. You got to find a way to shorten it. So you can do it a couple of ways, 3 easy ways. 1, you can go to Chrome once it's saved and create a QR code for it. Chrome has a QR code built in right here. Use that one. 2, take the link and pop it into a custom text code, because then you can send it out and use that text code on your landing pages. So now you can build it into a text code. Text the word pitch to whatever the smart number is, and then put a message in here and paste that, click here for more, click here to start, something like that. And then when they click, it's going to take them to your landing page, and they're going to get started on step 1 and step 2. That's the second way. The third way, which to me is probably the best way to get the most bang for your buck, is to go over to GoDaddy and buy yourself a cheap domain name, and then just forward it to this landing page. And now you can use it from now until kingdom come and put it on your postcards. Maybe you have, kellyshomevaluations.com or kellyslistings.com, whatever you want to. I don't care what your domain name is, but go buy one. Buy the cheaper the better. Buy it for a year, and then use that domain name on your postcards. Use that domain, add it into your email signature, add it into, add it to everything. You blast it from everywhere.
One other piece I think I wanted to add to that, Kelly. I'm sorry, Rich was just asking, can you show how you got that QR code from the Google Chrome feature?
Oh, sure. So in Chrome, it's any page at all. I mean, you could technically take any page, like even my little thing here. If I clicked at the end of it, this is a Chrome feature, and it's just a QR code builder. That's all it is. I mean, there's actually software that you can go get. I think there's one, it's called QRtiger.com. And we did a whole session in our next level about QR codes. Probably worth go finding it on our YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Maybe we could mark that and maybe put a link to that. Christian, that would be awesome about QR codes.
I will get the YouTube link there.
That would be great. But the QR codes are just great. They're easy to scan, easy to use, and you just literally click at the end of this. Now, if you want to use a dynamic QR code, and that's a whole nother conversation where you can swap it out and use it over time, and then, swap your links in there. That's different than what Chrome provides. This is just a QR code builder here. We do have QR codes for every listing. They're not for the landing pages, which is why I like to show that little Easter egg right there. Because if you want to create a QR code, if you're in Chrome, you might as well just use the Chrome one. That one's there. What else?
Is that an extension on Chrome?
No, it's just in Chrome. Nope, it's just here in Chrome. Yeah, if you click on the end of the URL bar, this little box pops up right here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and try it. It's a QR code builder. Yeah.
Just make sure your Chrome's up to date. That's all.
Oh yeah, you do have to make sure that's up to date. Yeah.
Now, one other piece as well there was with QR codes. I believe, can you show how you built it? Rich, one other thing I might want to mention with the QR codes, guys, print them out. Just print out a bunch of copies. I find that if you have more, you get more leads because you can put them more places. And if you can put it on like business cards, postcards,
the back of your business card where it's totally
yep.
blank space.
I mean, honestly, there's a lot of different ways you can use them, but over the past 2 years, if you were an investor in the QR code technology, you are a billionaire at this point. Because
QR codes are, they, especially with the pandemic, everybody wants safe and contactless ways of getting information. And just by the fact that you can scan it on your phone, that just makes it so much easier. So I love my QR codes. I think those are pretty cool. I think on our QR video, our next level session, Ryan was telling me he was going to get his information QR tattooed on himself. That was pretty funny.
Yeah, that's a little crazy, but I mean, I wouldn't be against the idea, right? I mean,
there you there you go.
When people talk about how much they're devoted to business, if you show up with a tattoo and a QR code, I think you're pretty devoted.
How about this? How about those companies that create temporary tattoos? How about you go and get a temporary tattoo with your QR code and you put that on for, like some social event or something, or a networking event? How cool would that be? Now that's fun and creative. I'm all about fun and creative ways to advertise and market yourself. So, you're only limited by your own creativity, everybody. All right. I don't see any other questions come in. Did you, Christian? Anybody else have anything?
Could I just ask a quick question? The photographs on the landing pages are obscured by the text and whatever. And I was surprised when I saw what appeared on Facebook, how good it was.
Oh yeah, these are just background photos to keep your branding consistent. But when you actually post this out onto Facebook, that background is your primary photo. So for those of you that haven't done a landing page, this is what the actual ad's going to look like. It's going to pull that custom background in for you. But
do you have those that you can view the photographs without having to put the post on Facebook? If you know what I mean.
No, I mean, I just preview them before I post them. No, I don't believe there's a way to preview them. Christian, unless you do, I just usually look at them right here when you're going in and creating the, oops, did I screen? Can you guys see my screen and my cursor kind of spinner? Okay,
yes.
Okay, so if you go in and build a landing page, the background photos here, this is really the only way to preview them. Just know that they come in very high resolution when you're.
Yeah, but they're still obscured. They're kind of.
Yes. What I will say about that is, if you want, you can always just copy the link and just go over to Facebook and paste the link in and wait for it to load, and that'll offer the full preview of what they're going to see. You don't actually have to post it. Yep.
Oh, okay.
If I just go to copy, and then do I have to do it in Facebook, or can I do it here and do paste and go?
No, Facebook.
Oh no, that doesn't do anything.
Yeah.
Oh, Facebook, it's got to be.
Yeah.
Oh.
So just make it as a post. So it's just a one extra step, but in terms of getting the actual preview, it does provide it.
Yeah, maybe you know what it might be, Tom. It might be a good feature request for you to add in here in the feature request section right here. If you'd like to see that added, you can certainly submit that as a feature request, because we do our product updates all the time. And plus, maybe we can get it added into a support article. So just go ahead and add it into a feature request, and I'll make sure I tag myself in that so that I can give it a little extra bump.
Yeah, because I was amazed that you were doing a landing page, and when I saw the photograph on Facebook, it looked really impressive.
Yeah. Well, we like our stock photos, and you can always use your own too. So don't forget, you can add in your own custom photo as well.
It really was really, I was impressed. It was a swimming pool photograph, you know what I mean? A pool scenario.
Awesome.
Really,
awesome.
So that's what I'm just saying. There's a lot of more hidden stuff in there that you kind of look at those landing pages.
I know. Sometimes it's just like drinking water from a fire hose. Yeah. Christian says it's last call for questions. All right, you know what, Tom? I think I'm going to volunteer somebody. What do you say? Let me go in and volunteer. Anybody a listing agent here? Raise your hand if you're a listing agent. I'm just curious. Raise your hand if you, oh, there we go. Rich is. Hey, Rich, I'm going to turn on your microphone for a second. I hope you don't mind. I'm going to volunteer you. So far, is some of the things that we're talking about here, is this something you think you might be able to apply into your listing strategies?
Yeah, the landing page, while you're going through it, I had an idea. One of the things I did was trying to create some database without using specific real estate in mind, just to try to build relationships. And so we've been doing like a once a week. I had done some Facebook pages, ads, offering, instead of paying thousands of dollars for coach, for an accountability partner or coach.
Yeah.
And so we ended up getting some like housewives wanting to lose weight, that we paired everybody up for free, kind of just a good service. And I thought, man, I could use a landing page for that, which would give me their info.
Oh yeah.
Stuff like that. And then I use, I have a whole sequence that I use in kvCORE for buyers and FSBOs. For FSBOs, expires, terminates.
Well, and don't forget, if you're doing a landing page, if you're going to do it for something really general, like what you're talking about, like kind of matching people up, which I think is a really great idea. I mean, that's really a nice idea. Use none. Make sure that you use none, because if you choose one of these as the options, it could potentially trigger a different smart campaign unless you're using the hashtag to trigger that smart campaign.
Okay. Yeah, the idea was just to try to give people something for nothing, create goodwill rather than always asking for.
Well, you know what I do? Here's something I do. I like to partner with local businesses. I really believe in supporting local. So I'll put things in here, every once in a while I'll do a landing page that promotes like somebody's community event. Maybe they're doing a blood drive. Maybe they're doing a clothing drive. Maybe they're doing, maybe the local pizza place is doing a, kids under 10 eat free night, something like that.
State fairs, PTA meetings, that kind of stuff too.
All that stuff. Anything that you want to do where you want to give that content, or that Chamber of Commerce has tons of content. You can always link over to the Chamber of Commerce page. But if you use your website as the source of truth, I always think of my website as my source of truth. That's where I want everybody to end up. So if you're going to be doing things like what you're talking about, Rich, don't forget to add it in as a custom page on your website, because you can change out, you can have a whole category here about how I support my community. Let me, whatever you want to call it, success buddies, will help you find your success buddy, accountability plus, whatever you want to call it. Create a category in here and then have your page that you continuously update this content, and then use this as your landing page destination. Because then you're using your website as your own social media and kind of your own community events bulletin board, right? Remember those old-fashioned bulletin boards that they used to have outside of the elementary schools that posted, here's the upcoming Red Ribbon Week and the PTA fundraiser and the PTA fair. I mean, this is your own little bulletin board, and everything should start here rather than just posting it directly onto those social media platforms.
Can I ask you a question about the paid, like the auxiliary page type thing? You were talking about creating a custom page. What would be the advantage? Because for like $15, you can get the separate website. It's like $15. You get like a separate website that's tied in
for local areas.
Yeah, and what like for doing a neighborhood or really any type of group.
Yeah, that's pretty cool, because we'll create a market specific website for you. Correct. And
is that more in depth? Where you can have multi-layered pages with different things like community events or different things like that.
Well, the thing that I like about the custom pages, this is very market specific. So it has to do with dedicating real estate information versus like a custom page that you're building. Yeah. This is more, really, it's a free for all. I mean, you could use a custom page to, give away prizes, or here's what I'm sponsoring this week is the second annual bovine golf tournament, or whatever it is. But it's literally like putting it up on your bulletin board in your website. That's the way I like to think of it. And then, but once it's here, you have a link that you can use. And if you want to get leads from it, take the link and put it in a custom landing, or put it in a landing page, so that you're not, you're not giving it away for free. You're just asking for their email address. Versus the marketplace tool, that's very specific to real estate. It's like using the let's see, where's my website? It's like using that areas we cover page down at the bottom. Those are all individual landing pages down here. These are all individual market information. So, if you are that hyper local specific agent in Agora Hills, this would make sense to be advertising this, because who doesn't want to know what the most popular, most expensive, and least expensive properties are, right? And because it's pulling from your MLS, we've got basic real estate information in here. We've got a map, we've got real estate market health, and if it's available, we'll even pull in neighborhoods. So maybe you do market in Agora Hills, but you happen to live in Oak Hills Estate. Maybe you want to use this information, because again, who doesn't want to know the most popular, most expensive, and least expensive listings in their neighborhood? And you could take this page and copy it and go put it in a landing page and promote it that way. Does that make better sense?
Yep. Yeah, it does. I was trying to figure out what the market specific websites were. I was thinking of maybe using it for new construction.
Yeah, you could. Yeah, absolutely.
Somebody's resource to find all of them.
Yeah, I actually, like to use the, let's see, I don't know if I have it on here or not. I don't know if we have it in here. We do. So I like to use this New Homes Connect page, because this has, it's just a resource that I've used over time, and it's for, new home builds and communities and basic information about new construction. I'll pop this in here. I don't know if you want it or not, but I just sometimes use that for landing pages, because it's pre-populated information for you. So feel free to borrow that if you want. All right. Well, thanks, guys. Thanks, Tom and Rich, for letting me volunteer you. I hope that this was helpful for you. I know my open Q&As tend to be a little bit more interactive, but that's because I figure you guys don't want to hear me talk for an hour. Much more fun when you can get your own strategies out there. So
we need a break too, guys. Sometimes we need to have a sip of our water.
There you go. Yeah.
Patricia just asked one last thing. That website add-on, it's I believe $14. Correct me.
$14 a month with
it's $14
a month commitment, I think.
3 month commitment, you said?
Yeah, it's in. Let me go double check. It's in the marketplace, and it is.
I think that gives you access to another MLS. I think that's the idea. That is it.
Yep. So it's the type of website, Patricia. If you're looking for an example of the site, just look at your own. It's going to copy that, except it's just going to be for a specific market. So yeah.
Yep. Catch the video if you want to learn more. There's a little video in here.
Alrighty. Any other questions, guys? I know I said last call earlier, but we got some more topics here. Anything else we can answer for you?
Christian, how about you? Did you learn something new today?
Oh, heck yeah. The pitch sheets are super nice. I like the way that we can use this. Also, the fact that we're using landing pages and steps. I really like that.
It's cool as a little nugget, huh?
Yeah, it makes it seem like it's a really professional kind of like I'm signing in through Google type protection style. I don't know how to word it, but you can kind of get that idea.
It's a step-by-step. I mean, you could really get creative with any of the landing pages and kind of figure out your own steps. We do have several different templates to choose from. Not just, I like the basic registration ones because I think those are great, but we do have other ones in here. Maybe the last page you take them is to land on this video. Maybe you get their email address and then you take them to this place where they can actually see the video. I don't know. You could play around with these and come up with your own. Maybe that's something we should focus on, is creating different landing page strategies on how to link two or more together. That'd be a good Q&A, huh, Christian?
Yeah, I think that's something we'll look into some more.
Cool.
I like that.
All right, everybody. Well, thank you so much. And Christian, as always, it's a pleasure to have you moderate and jump in. I appreciate it. Tom, Rich, thank you so much. Ivy, it's always good to see you in here. And Melinda, Patricia, everybody who joined us, thank you so much. Unless there's no other questions, we're going to give you 5 minutes back in your day so you can go sell a house, because it's that time to go sell a house.
Great. Thank you very much.
Have a great day, everybody.
Bye now.